people of the internet! Welcome back to another live stream assembly. It is I, Don Thomas, back in here with another one. As always, folks, the likes, the comments, the subscribes have all been greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the support on this channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into tonight's topics. All right, here's my take. We all know the verdict. Trump is indeed the president. To be completely honest, in my personal opinion, let's just go step by step here. In my personal opinion, this is not a time for I told you so's and this, that, and the other. That's not a good use of my time. If I must say so, of course, as you guys know, you know my stance. If you may or may not know, again, I don't know who's watching. You know, I personally don't partake in any of these things. But if I did have to make an educated guess, I did kind of know Trump was going to win. If you look back at some older videos on my YouTube channel, I even when it was Trump versus Biden, I knew Trump was going to win. And even when, you know, we started showing, before it was even Kamala, and they started looking for some other people. Oh, is it going to be the Kennedy guy? Is it going to be these other names? What's the other name? What's the other dude's name? I knew whoever you put up against Trump, Trump was going to win. That was my opinion from the jump. So here we are. Trump is the president. Cool. Some people are happy. They celebrated. They wished him well. They made TikToks to express their satisfaction and their joy with Trump being the president. Cool. No harm, no foul. Kamala Harris lost. People got on and they screamed and they cried. They made TikToks, they made memes, they vented on Twitter. No harm, no foul. And then you got me, who, in my personal opinion, has been sitting back and been watching this entire campaign unfold. And as I've been calling it from day one, I thought this entire presidential election was a shit show that was just mere entertainment. We all laughed. We laughed. You cannot sit here and say that you watched the entire thing and you didn't chuckle once. You laughed. Whether it was the memes, whether it was the president dancing, it was humorous, you gotta admit. Trump is a funny guy, I've always said that. But in all seriousness, because I do believe this is no joking matter, to be completely honest, it's still no joking matter. Regardless of how you voted, Trump or Kamala, in my personal opinion, it's business as usual. What's set to unfold is still gonna unfold whether it was Trump or Kamala. Let's dive into that. What do you mean, bro? What do you think is gonna happen, bro? In my personal opinion, and of course, he's a conspiracy theorist. Oh, he watches too many movies. Oh, he spends too much time down in the rabbit hole. Say what you wanna say. In my personal opinion, there's an agenda that is bigger than all of us, set to unfold within the next year, few years, next decade. There's an agenda that's gonna unfold whether you voted Democrat, whether you voted Republican, whether you didn't vote at all. There's a system that is bigger than all of us. None of us are bigger than the system. Let's go into some of these tweets that I expressed earlier today within this week, whatever the case is. I've called this election a shit show. Some of you agree, some of you disagree. I told you all that your vote doesn't matter. It never has and it never will. Some of you agree, some of you disagree. I told you all that we are ants to these people whose votes they don't give two shits about. Some of you agree, some of you disagree. No harm, no foul. The reason why I personally believe that whoever was gonna win regardless. Trump was gonna win well before you made your way down to the polls. Because I personally believe in a hierarchy. I believe in a group of elites. Oh, you'll say, oh, the Illuminati. See, now he's talking about the Illuminati. Now he's talking about conspiracy shit. No. Hear me out. From where I'm sitting and the America that I've witnessed in the 35 years on this planet, I have strong reason to believe that there's a strong, powerful group of elites that make all the decisions within this ant farm. Let's use the analogy of an ant farm for 1 second. Do know, when I call us ants, it's self-included. When I tell y'all that we live in an ant farm and we have no say-so in the workings of the ant farm, I'm talking about me as well too. Please don't think I'm talking down on y'all or I think less of y'all. I'm an ant within the same ant farm that you're living in. You understand? And from my observation as an ant in this ant farm, I've grown to understand that we as ants have no say-so in the grand scheme of things within this ant farm. Why? Because we didn't help build the ant farm. We don't have any say-so. We didn't build it. We help it flow because we all pay our taxes. We all go to work. you all vote. So you're helping with the functionality of the ant farm, but you didn't build the ant farm. Therefore, they don't care about what you think and who should run the ant farm and how it should go and the rules and regulations. You have no say-so. In my personal opinion, if you are a minority in the United States of America, meaning if you're anything other than white in the United States of America, you of all people should understand that you have no say-so in this country. If you are a black man or a black woman, a Latino man or a Latino woman, you of all people should understand that you have no say-so in this country. Tell me one time that anybody in the United States, any institution, any law, any regulation made you feel like it was for your favor. If you are an immigrant of immigrant descent, and whether you are first generation, second generation, whether your parents came over here, however you got here, if you were not born here in the United States of America, tell me one time that the United States of America made you feel like you mattered. Tell me. I'll speak for myself as a black man in the United States of America. We don't have to go down to history. You know the history. Go back 400 years. Black man in America, I'm talking to you. When has America made you feel like you had some say-so? Black man, black woman, when have you ever felt like America has given you some say-so and gave an inkling of a about what you think in this country? Tell me one time. If we're not rapping, if we're not shooting a basketball in a hoop, if we're not running up and down a field or kicking a soccer ball, they don't care about you. They've shown you time and time again. But oh no, you say things like this and people are confused. All of a sudden, people are confused. Wait, huh? Wait, I do have some say-so, man. I voted. I pay my taxes. I'm a working class citizen in America. They do care about us. Since when? They cared about you when they discriminate against you in the workplace and they make fun of your accent and they overlook you for that promotion because of the color of your skin or how you speak or how you wear your hair. That's when you thought that you had some power? When the police racially profile you just for being on the wrong side of town or driving a car that's too expensive, that's when you thought that you had some power? You thought that you had some say-so then? Let's move on from that. I personally believe in a hierarchy of systems. In my personal opinion, from my observation, I believe that there's an elite group of people that call every single shot that is done here in this country, in the world. If you are not a millionaire, or if you're not a billionaire, or if you don't come from if your last name is not Rothschild, or Gates, or Musk, or Zuckerberg, you should be very clear that you have no say-so in this country. Okay, if you're a millionaire, okay, maybe they'll take what you have to say into consideration because you're a high earner here in the ant farm. Okay, if you're of royalty, you have oil money, maybe you have some stock money. It's brackets, it's levels. Hasn't it always been that way? Isn't this country ran on nepotism? Hasn't it always been a piss contest between who has the biggest money, whose bank account is the largest, who can do what, who has power? Hasn't it always been like that? So why all of a sudden do you guys think that if enough of us little ants scurry up our votes, we can maybe have some change in America? Is that what you think? Is that how you think this thing works? I repeat, when has the United States of America and the institutions within it ever made you feel like they give a about what you think? Let's take corporate America, for example. Corporate America. A lot of us work within corporate America, different sectors of corporate America, right? Some of us are blue collar, some of us are white collar, right? Working hard for our dollars. In corporate America, let's just use that structure as an example. So when you go to work, let's say you're just a regular guy at work. You don't have necessarily this prestigious title. You go into work, you put in your 40 hours, you do your 9 to 5 or your 7 to 3 or 10 to 6, whatever hours you work. You go to work, you do what they tell you to do. You go about your business, you clock out for the day. In corporate America, I think is one place where this is just blatantly clear that the little guy never had any say-so. I want you to go to work tomorrow. The little guy at work. Let's say even if you have a title, let's say you're a director or a manager of some sort. Let's say you have some power at your corporate America job here in America. In the corporate structure, tell me one time, for those of you that know, tell me one time that the people at the bottom of the infrastructure ever had any type of say-so as to what happens within that workplace. I'm not talking about, oh, where do you guys want to go for the holiday party this year? They'll give you that. Of course, yeah. They'll let you vote for that. You guys want to pick where you want to eat for lunch today? Sure, let's take a vote. You guys want to pick where we do the holiday party this year? Sure, let's take a vote. But when it comes to the big things that's happening within your workplace, I'm talking about what the big dogs are talking about, the CEO. You think they're taking what you think into consideration? Tell me one time as a little guy in corporate America, have you ever felt like, yeah, man, they really care? Do they not just expect you to do what they tell you to do and keep it pushing? Do they not treat you as if you should be honored to work there? As if it's a privilege to be getting that paycheck? And of course you're grateful. Yeah, of course. You get to pay your bills that you're struggling to pay most likely because majority of us are underpaid in some sectors. You get to feed your family, although groceries are sky high. And people will say, oh no, well see, if we vote properly, maybe we can, if more of us vote, maybe we can lower the price of our groceries and maybe we can. My friends, I don't think that's how this thing works. There's powers that are greater than us. None of us are bigger than the system. Not me, not you. None of us are bigger than the system. My friends, America has never made me, as a black man in America, has never made me feel like they gave a fuck about what I thought. Never. If you're a minority, God forbid you have an accent of any sort here in America. God forbid, let's not even talk about those people. You for sure should damn sure know that you have no power in this country. You should know that because they make that clear to you every single day. When they overlook you for that role, when they overlook you for that position, they make it clear to you that they don't care what you think. Do what they tell you to do and keep it pushing. So if we just scope out of that, right? For me personally, corporate America is a prime example of how we have no say-so in this planet and how all of us are ants. If you scope out of that, if you know that's how corporate America works, again, some of y'all should understand that this is how it works. If you scope outside of that, and now we're talking about just not corporate America, just America. If you understand that nepotism is a thing, if you understand that, hey, this country is greedy. Have you not seen blatant examples of greed, misuse of power, the Supreme Court and all these things that you guys look up to? Don't they usually get it wrong sometimes? Isn't it about who knows who and who does what and how many commas you have in your bank account? Hasn't it always been like that? So again, it baffles me that you guys know all of this and then you still say, hey, nah, man, but we can change these things. Us, the little guys at the bottom of the totem pole, we can change these things if enough of us vote correctly. Let's talk about the election as a whole for a second. I've been calling this election a shit show. From Jump Street, a shit show. Reality TV. Scripts, writers, acting, pose here, pose there, say this, do that, get my good side, take this photo. A shit show this entire time. When did you think this was serious? When did you think that anything that was happening within this election was serious when the people that are involved in the election have been playing the entire time? You thought the election was serious when Meg Thee Stallion and Glorilla was twerking on stage for Kamala's rally? That's when you thought this was serious? When Hulk Hogan was ripping his shirt in favor of Trump and Amber Rose got on stage and Quavo and Beyonce, that's when you thought this was serious? When Donald Trump linked up with Aiden Ross on his stream and he wears his hat and he does his funny little dance, that's when you were taking this thing seriously? When the memes and the jokes and the shit show of all the campaigns and debates were happening and all of us are just shaking our heads and asking ourselves, what the fuck is this bullshit? That's when you thought this was serious? It was never serious. So for me, it baffles me. For all of us, we all saw it. We all watched Meg Thee Stallion and Glorilla twerk up on stage and hoped to gain some black votes for Kamala Harris. That's when you thought it was serious? Y'all saw all of this and you still made your way down to the polls, casted your vote, and said, hey man, if enough of us vote, we can change the bullshit that's happening in this country. What? They always say, man, you can't laugh at the things that happen in the circus. If you observe the circus long enough and you keep going to the circus, you give the circus your attention, you become part of the circus. So for me, when I tell y'all that, hey man, I don't want parts of the circus, so I'm not voting, I'm the bad guy. I'm the one that's the conspiracy theorist and how much more do you need to see to understand that these people are on playtime? When whoever it was called the Puerto Ricans, Puerto Rico's a pile of garbage. That's when you thought it was serious? That's when you went down and cast your vote? When they insult your race, when they insult your professions, when they continuously blatantly insult you, care very little of what you have to say, that's when you thought that they cared about you and your vote mattered? Those are all the examples that you thought that your vote mattered in this country? I don't understand how all of us can observe these things and with a straight face be like, you know what, I'm still gonna go vote because I still wanna believe that these people have our best interests at heart. I don't know how many more examples y'all need. What more were you willing to see? What element, somebody please tell me, if you're watching this, please chime in. What element of this election made you thought that this was serious? What part was like, all right, bet, we're on to something here? I've given you so many examples of bullshit. And y'all all saw these same examples of bullshit. And you still went down to the polls and voted. For who? For what? They always say, oh, pick two evils. Yeah, man, I mean, we gotta vote for something. I mean, yeah, none of these candidates are perfect. So, I mean, we gotta vote for something. Don't you think they made this decision long before? In my personal opinion, when they tell y'all to vote and y'all are voting, it's to give y'all something to do. It's to make you think that you're a part and you have some say-so you continue to do the good workings. So you continue to pay your taxes with pride and joy and happiness. That's why they tell you to vote. That's why they tell you your vote matters. But come on, my friends, we're at the bottom of the totem pole. And again, I'm not talking down on you because I'm at the bottom of the totem pole with y'all. You get it? When I call us ants, I'm part of the ant farm as well too. You embrace your role as an ant. Let me speak for myself real quick. As an ant in this ant farm, as a fellow ant in this ant farm, I'm an ant, you're an ant. We're very small. We are at the bottom of the totem pole. Again, who am I talking to? Who are the ants? If you're not a millionaire, if you're not a billionaire, you're an ant. If you're a minority in the United States of America, you are an ant. If you're a black man, a black woman, Indian, Asian, I don't care what race you are. If you're not a white man of millionaire status or billionaire status, you are the ants that I'm referring to. You understand? So as a fellow ant in this ant farm, the approach that I take, this is what I told y'all before. Play the game, but don't play the game. Remember when I said that? Some months ago, I told y'all, hey, as an ant who has peeped the game and peeped the situation and peeped how this country kind of operates, I've had years to kind of operate how this bullshit works. Play the game, but don't play the game. What does that mean, bro? Expound on that a little bit more, bro. What does that mean? What do you mean play the game, but don't play the game? When I tell you play the game, but don't play the game, this is the approach that I personally take. I play the game when it's time to go to work and make a living. Yeah, play the game. When I go to work and I do what's told, when I abide by the law, I'm not saying we should start a revolution. I'm not saying we should disobey the law and make our own. No. I see a red light, I stop at a red light. You tell me to pay my taxes, I pay my taxes. You tell me to show up for jury duty, I'm gonna show up for jury duty, bro. I'm gonna play the game. I'm in it. I'm a participant, I'm here. I'm gonna play the game, yeah, of course I'm gonna play the game. But when I say don't play the game, don't fall for the bullshit that they're feeding you to see to it that you're good little ants within the ant farm and you keep doing their bidding. Don't get emotionally invested in things that you have no power over. It baffles me. People were crying and people were, oh, if you didn't vote or if you voted for Trump, you're not my friend anymore. That's how they got you? You're too emotionally invested in things that you never had any say-so from the jump, my friends. Oh, if you voted for Trump, we're not friends. I'm unfollowing you. If you don't vote, I could never. All this name calling, we're name calling each other. Exactly what they want us to do. Come on, have we not heard? United we stand, divided we fall. Have you not been hearing that from the longest time? Don't you get it? United we stand, divided we fall. But when we keep discriminating against each other, all the name calling, oh, I'm not your friend anymore because you don't vote how I vote. You don't pray how I pray. You're poorer than me. That's all part of the division. That's what's gonna keep us divided. That's what they want. So we're doing exactly what they want when we start calling people outside of their name, when we start discriminating against each other and dividing ourselves up a little bit. Okay, we're gonna be over here, we're gonna be over there. That's exactly all according to plan. What are you not understanding? I already knew this was gonna happen. No, I'm not trying to say that I'm this, that, and the other. I already knew. Everything that's happening now, I knew it was gonna happen. I've been saying Trump was gonna win well before it was Kamala Harris. I knew Trump was gonna win. Facts, 100%. And to be completely honest, let's speak on that for a little bit. For all of you who voted for Kamala and really sincerely thought that Kamala was gonna come out victorious in this election, come on, my friends. Till this day, I'm still shocked they gave us Obama. Till this day, I'm still shocked that they gave us Obama. I never thought we would see the day. Because yeah, there is a lot of racial tension here in America, in my personal opinion, and it's not going anywhere. So when Obama was president, I was like, damn, okay. Took us some time. It took us a while. So you mean to tell me a double minority, if not more, triple minority, what's Kamala? You mean a non-white woman was up against a white man in America for presidency, and y'all thought they were gonna let that slide? What? What world are you living in? What America have you been living in for the past decade? Come on, guys. Come on. Let's talk real. Let's talk real. For a second, remove your biases for just 1 second. Remove your emotions, remove your biases. Just observe the America that you know. The America that you've been a part of for however long you've been here in this country. You really thought that they were gonna let a minority woman run the United States of America? What? What world are you living in? That's wishful thinking times 100. They weren't gonna give us Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was never going to be the president of the United States. Let's just keep it real. And some of y'all deep down in y'all souls, you knew that was the case, but you were, I get it. You know, we have Disney. Disney makes us, gives us some wishful thinking sometimes. Sometimes we wish upon a star. We wish upon a star. And sometimes we bypass common sense and rationale for emotional thinking. So yeah, some would argue, well, yeah, Kamala's just the lesser of two evils. And I would agree with you. No, you're right. Yeah, I would agree. Again, mind you, I'm always going to preface this by saying I'm not sitting here observing the policies of these people. I don't know the ins and outs of the policies that they're proposing. One, because I know that they don't even believe the policies themselves. Very rarely will you see a politician say something and then do said thing. Hasn't history shown you that? Hasn't history kind of proven to us already that they're going to do what they want to do and we have to kind of just deal with it? So for some reason, again, the people that voted for Kamala, wishful thinking. They weren't going to give us Kamala Harris. You know that, I know that. America was not ready to see a minority woman in that seat. It's like Game of Thrones type shit. When I make these, relations to like TV shows and movies, I tweeted earlier as well too. Let's speak on that real quick. I tweeted earlier that how I believe elections work was perfectly depicted in season 4, episode 8 of Succession. Some of y'all would be like, oh, he's basing movies off of real life. He's basing TV shows. He thinks the TV shows are how real life works. Once I saw, and well before that, shout out to the people, the writers, the actors in Succession. Once I saw that episode, again, go back and watch all of Succession. Watch that entire episode. Don't just watch the clip that I posted on my Twitter. Watch season 4, episode 8 of Succession. And maybe the episode before that as well too, if I'm not mistaken. When you kind of start getting the understanding of the ins and outs, okay, maybe they dramatize some things here and there. I get that. Yeah, of course. I'm not saying we should take everything at face value of these movies and these TV shows, but we shouldn't dismiss them either. Some of y'all, I'll be questioning, like, when you watch movies, do you just watch it to watch it, or are you taking notes? Didn't we already confirm that, the FBI or the CIA has a division within Hollywood? They have their own production company? I think it was Candace Owens that brought that to light again, because I felt like I heard that some time ago before as well too. You do know that, right? You do know government agencies have movie budgets, right? So when you guys are quick to dismiss TV shows and movies and then just dismiss it as, oh, nah, that's just TV, bro. Don't take it too seriously. It's a little bit foolish and naive. Because how else do you think that they're telling us how they think? I think they do that in order to be able to tell us that, hey, man, at least we told them. They can't say we ain't warned them. What's that movie that came out on Netflix? What was the name of it? I forgot the name of that movie. That kind of depicted how, if, the power grid was to go down, whatever it was called, I forgot the name of the movie. Some people will watch that and be like, oh, nah, it's just a movie. But are you not listening? You think the times that we're living on right now, people are just making movies just to make movies? You think people are just writing these scripts and getting these actors and spending millions on budgets just for the sake of entertainment? Come on, guys. I want to challenge us all to don't be afraid to think outside of the box. It's okay to go against the grain. You do understand that, right? It's okay to think outside of the box. You don't have to do what they tell you to do. You don't have to keep believing in things that you were forced to be taught. The things that they scarfed down your throat and told you, hey, this is how it's been. Read history. You know you can challenge that sometimes. You know that, right? You could be the one in your generation that kind of pumps the brakes and thinks for yourself. You do know that, right? You do have that right. So it baffles me that grown-ass adults, grown men, grown women who have been here for some time, you weren't just born yesterday, as they say. You've been here for some time. You've had the opportunity to sit back and watch how this country operates, but for some reason, you're still under the impression that this country actually operates off of some real rules and structure that favors the little guy, is the point I'm trying to make. Let me tie it all in. Let's talk. These are my closing remarks, and let's talk future state, because I don't want to ramble. because I can speak on this all day. My thesis is this. Again, it's just a thesis. It's a hypothesis. Do understand, if you peep, never do I ever declare what I'm saying as fact. Nah. These are just my ideas. I'm not saying that this is fact. I'm not saying that I'm right, you're wrong. No. But I do want to challenge you to start thinking outside of the box. My overall observation of America as a whole, of this election as a whole, what I'm doing for myself, what I'm going to suggest that you do for yourself as well too, take it or leave it, and how we should act moving forward is this. It's a hierarchy, my friends. There's the haves and the have-nots. It's always been like that. There's the people that got it and the people that don't. It's always been like that. I want to ask you, are you somebody that got it or somebody that does not? It's a hierarchy. The people with influence and money and power are at the top, and the people who don't have those things are at the bottom. Where do you stand on that totem pole? Stop me when I've said anything that you disagree with. It is a hierarchy in every single structure. Even on the playground, it was a hierarchy, and you know that. The kid who was the strongest, the kid who was the fastest, the kid who had all the friends, the kid who... Those were the people that could make some moves, even on the playground. So for some reason, I'm trying to understand why you guys think all of that went out the window. Has it not always been like that? On the playground when you were a little kid, when the big kid came over and said, hey, get up off of that swing set, it's my turn now. For the most part, you got the fuck up. Maybe you had some balls, maybe you fought back. Maybe you became friends with him, whatever the case is. But this hierarchy has been established from day one. Even the monkeys in the jungle know it's a hierarchy. The animals that run free understand that it's a hierarchy. It's no different here in America. It's no different here in the world. There is a hierarchy of power and influence and money. Ask yourself, where do I stand in this hierarchy? Ask yourself, take some time. Assess yourself. Whether you're a black man, a white man, a woman, Asian descent, African descent, whatever you are, I want you to do a self-analyzation of yourself, your finances, everything that you know that makes up you, your entire demographic. And ask yourself, in the grand scheme of things, where do I rank on this totem pole? Again, the people at the top, if your name is not Rothschild, if your last name is not Musk, if your last name is not Gates, if your last name is not Zuckerberg, what's the other dude's name? What's the other dude's name? The dude now who's operating $1 trillion company, NVIDIA, the Asian dude, what's his name? The company that surpassed Apple with their chip, the NVIDIA chip. Those are the people that can have some say-so. Those are the guys that are invited to the table, not you. Do you think those guys care about what you do? Every day on Twitter, Elon Musk is doing whatever the he wants with Twitter. Every single day. And what do? You have the option of leaving, or you stay and abide by the rules. Every single day. These people are exuding their power. Zuckerberg wakes up one morning and says, hey, moving forward, Instagram operates like this. What do? You follow those rules. Every single day, these people bully you into doing what they want to do. And for some reason, you think, oh, man, yeah, I know that they do this. Yeah, I know that they're super rich and super wealthy, but I'm still going to vote because our vote matters. When have they ever made you think that they gave a fuck about what you thought? Is the point that I'm not understanding. When did you feel empowered? I don't understand. Again, it's a hierarchy. It's a club that you're not in. It's one big club and you're not in it. You're not invited to the table. Understand where you stand on the totem pole. The closer you are to the bottom, my friend, the less power that you have. I thought this was just socioeconomics 101. Mind you, I didn't pay all the attention in school, but I pick up on some things here and there. And economics class, socioeconomics, when you're learning about social studies, and you're learning about the families who own oil and royalty, and the decades and decades of just systems that always been in place. If you know that, it's foolish of you to think, oh, here I am now. You can't overlook all of that and still think that, nah, yeah, I know there's such thing as trillion-dollar wealth, if not more. Yeah, I know there's the Rothschilds and super rich families of influence and power. Yeah, I know these things exist, but for some reason, I'm still under the impression that I have some say-so in this country. When? My friend, tell me one time that you felt that you have some say-so. Again, there's a hierarchy, it's power, it's all about greed, it's all about money, it's all about power, it's all about control. Assess where you're at in the world and be able to place yourself on that totem pole. Moving forward, what do we do now, bro? Shit done hit the fan. What do we do now, bro? What are you gonna do? What should we do, bro? Here's what I'm gonna do. Take it or leave it. What applies to you, let it apply. What doesn't apply, ignore me. What I'm gonna do moving forward, which I've been saying from the jump, I've been saying this for how many months now? All I was waiting for was the verdict. Who's the winner? Trump? Okay. It's Trump. Now that I know that Trump is the winner, he's the president of the United States moving forward, I'm going to do what I've been doing. I'm going to focus on my own world, my own sphere, the things that are within my control. No, I'm not saying we should start a revolution. No, I'm not saying, there's some people out there that, I'm fleeing the country now. I'm leaving America. If that's what you think is the best thing for you and your family, go. If you don't want to be in a country that's ran by Donald Trump, you have that right. Dip, bounce, no problem. What I'm going to do moving forward is focus on the things that I can control. Worry about my own sphere. Worry about my own world as an ant in the ant farm. You understand? That's the first thing you got to understand. Understand your role in this world, in this ecosystem. I'm an ant in this ant farm. But as an ant, to give myself just a little bit of dignity, a little bit of power, I'm going to play the game, but I'm going to implement my own rules. You understand? As an ant in the ant farm, knowing that I have no control, no say-so, especially as a black ant in this ant farm, a black male ant in this ant farm, I'm going to, accept my role. Cool. I'm going to abide by the rules that make sense to me. Again, you tell me to go to jury duty, I'll go. You tell me don't run a red light, I won't. But when it comes to survival, we're talking about survival now. It's coming down to survival. I've been saying this for some time. The name of the game is survival of the fittest. Haven't you been hearing that for some decades now? That's not new to you. You've been hearing that. I'm going to keep, to the best of my abilities, try to figure out ways to survive in this ecosystem that I'm just a tiny little speck in. Do what I got to do, handle my responsibilities, make sure me and my household is intact, sit back and observe the moves that are being made on the chessboard, and act accordingly. Move accordingly now that you know that Trump is the president. I saw some women, of course. My condolences go out to y'all. Some of y'all are concerned about, what this means for women's rights. Again, I'm not well-versed in all the policies. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I'm always tell you when I'm not educated in certain areas. Yeah, I see you guys are worried about your rights as a woman. Oh, man, they don't care about women's rights. They let women down again. And I love women. I've made that very clear to y'all. I'm rooting for y'all. So if you feel like, damn, with Trump in office, I got to move different, I encourage you to move different. Do it. It'll be in your best interest to do so. Whatever you think is right for you, in your body, in your mind, do it. In your household, do it. Move accordingly. Play the game, but don't play the game. First of all, learn your abilities within this ecosystem. Learn your role that you play within this game. Understand your strengths and your weaknesses in this game, because it is a game, and the game of survival of the fittest. One thing I'm also going to recommend as well, too, we should maybe not, as ants in this ant farm, let's not add more division within the ant farm. We're already ants. So when the ants bicker amongst each other, it's very interesting to me. When we fight and we name call and we block and unfollow because people are stupid and I hate their opinions, you think that's working in our favor as ants in the ant farm? Again, I'm not necessarily saying we should start a revolution and enough is enough. Yeah, I would say have some power. Give yourself some power, right? Give yourself some dignity. Don't be just a little pushover ant. A lot of y'all are comfortable being the ants. Small, tiny ants with no say-so, no power. You're comfortable with that because you feel like it'll work in your favor. Okay, cool. No harm, no foul. But I feel like as ants, we should just respect each other as ants, empower those who we can empower, and focus on yourself. And for the ants that are trying to crack this system just a little bit, or at least get some power for us other ants, let us cook. Let us cook, bro. And I'm gonna wrap this up. I know I'm rambling, but hear me out. This is just a stream of consciousness right now, man. I'm talking right now. This what I'm saying right now is backed in logic and emotion. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Because I think emotions are high for all of us right now. So what I'm speaking to you right now, I'm speaking with some logic and I'm speaking with some emotion. Take what resonates with you, throw the rest out. How I'm kind of looking at it right now, moving forward, we should move with a sense of urgency. Move with a sense of intentionality. Be more intentional. I've been saying this for some months. Be more intentional now. There's no more time to be playing around. If you're still playing, if you're still taking things lightly, you're already behind. You're already at a disadvantage. If you're not even trying to muster up some power for yourself, if you're not at the drawing board trying to put a play together for yourself and your family, you're already behind. You might as well just... It's levels, folks. Is all I'm going to say. It's levels, it's money, it's power. Understand your role within the ant farm. But as ants in this ant farm, maybe we should try to all right, bro, it's us against them. Embrace that mindset just a little bit. Again, I know those are some spicy things to say. I don't want no smoke with the FBI, the CIA. I don't want no smoke. I already feel like my name is probably on the list anyway. I don't want no smoke with y'all. I'm not calling for a revolution. I'm not saying that we should go protest and riot. I'm not saying we should do none of that. But I'm saying as ants, we're in this together. That's what I'm saying. As the little guy at the bottom of the totem pole. Again, if you're not a millionaire or billionaire, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. If you're a minority, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. Welcome. So maybe amongst ourselves, let's not make it harder for us at the bottom. Let's do our best to be civil amongst each other at the bottom. Because the guys at the top, that's what they want you to do. So they can have more control. It's all about control. It's all about power. When has it not been? Those are my thoughts, folks. Honestly, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, I think you should look at less at Democrat, Republican, and look at it as a hierarchy. I think that's how you should look at it. Instead of looking left to right, look at top to bottom. Ask yourself, who's at the top? Ask yourself, if America is a hierarchy, who are the people that you, in your personal opinion, think are at the top? Right? Let's just all pause for a moment. Who are the people that are at the top of this hierarchy? If we look at America as a totem pole, who are the people at the top? Who are the people in the middle? Who are the people at the bottom? All this political talk is irrelevant. Friends, regardless of what you identify as, the people at the top are going to do what they want to do because they have all the power, all the money, and all the control. Am I wrong for saying that? I've seen enough. I don't care anymore. All I wanted to know, who's the president? That's all I wanted to know. Who? Trump? Cool. And again, to be completely honest, it was wishful thinking for you to think Kamala was going to get that W. Wishful thinking. This ain't a Disney movie, folks. This is real life we're talking about. This is not no Disney movie. You thought they were going to give us Kamala? Where you thought that a minority woman was going to run the United States of America. That's what you thought? You're not paying attention. And it's your own fault because they're not hiding. I'll say this in closing. They're not hiding anymore. They're confidently now letting you know what it is. They're confidently now giving you the short end of the stick. Yeah, this is what we're going to do. So what? Yeah, this is new laws and regulations we're implementing. So what? What you going to do about it? Nothing. Take the scraps that they give you. If they wake up one morning and say, oh, here's your $1,200 stimulus check. Take it. Thank you. Who was it? Trump? Who was it? Who was it that gives the $1,200? Was it Biden or Trump? I don't even care. If they give you your $1,200, take it. Thank you. Cool. Use it the way you see best fit. If they wake up one morning and say, hey, we are going to cancel student loan debt. Cool. Take it. Play the game, but don't play the game. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they don't do these little things here and there, but don't think those are signs to show that they care about you. Don't think that those acts are empowering you to make some moves and call some shots. Go to your job tomorrow and propose to sit down with your CEO and go tell him some ideas that you want to implement into his company. See what he says to you. If you're a parent out there in the world right now, you got young kids. Let's say you got kids anywhere from if they can talk, 3, 4, 5 years old, anywhere under 18. Let your kids come to you and tell you, hey, mom, dad, I don't like how you guys are running things in this household. My siblings and I have come up with some rules that we want you guys to... What would you say to your kids? If you're a parent right now, your little kid comes up to you, after you gave them shelter, you gave them food, some of you give them allowance, right? Use these as an example here in America. They give you shelter. If you're a parent, you give your kids, you give your children shelter, you give them food, you give them clothes. As a parent, you would tell your kids, that's more than enough. You should be grateful. That's what America's telling to you. Don't you understand? America sees you the same way. You're the little children. Do what they tell you to do and be happy with what they give you. What don't you understand? Your vote matters? Parents, do your children's vote matter in your household? Tell me. If your young children in your household gather up and say, hey, mom and dad, I don't like how you guys are running things in this household. This is what I want us to do. What are you going to say to your kids? In corporate America, the little guys at the bottom, do they care what you say? Do they care about, did they ask your opinion on the big decisions? They don't care. Take all of these things into consideration and don't be afraid to think outside of the box, my friends, is all I'm saying. That's my stance. I've done, that's an hour. I don't got nothing else to say. By all means, if there's anybody out there in the world, of course, there's a few conversations I want to have with a few people that I'm all opposed to. It's an exchange of ideas. Just understand, I'm not here to debate anybody. I'm not debating you. It's an exchange of ideas. All I'm doing is exchanging my ideas for yours. I'll be honored to hear your ideas. Somebody help me see your vision. If there's anything that I've said that you disagree with, please tell me. Tell me. Whether you do it through DM, if you know me personally, hit me up. Let me know. Tell me one thing that I've said here tonight on the stream that you disagree with. I'll love to engage you in conversation. I'm not debating with you. I'm not going back and forth with anyone. Let me make that very clear. My own dad tried to shade me the other day. Shout out to my pops. I'm rambling now, but because I'm about to get off, so that's why, whatever. My own dad shade me yesterday. What did he say? I was like, He was like, oh, something. I think the day before the election, my pops was like, I forgot what he said. He sent me something. Oh, yeah. He was like, oh, tonight we'll know whether, America is choosing a boy or a girl. There was a meme that was going around, right? And I was like, oh, I'm hearing that we won't know the vote. I thought we weren't going to know the verdict until like today or tomorrow. What was it? Or like tomorrow, essentially. I was hearing people say that it should be such a close vote. There were people under the impression that this was going to be a close vote. So they thought that we wouldn't know the verdict until like Thursday, Friday. Silly you to think that this was going to be close. This wasn't going to be close. It was never going to be close. So I told my dad, like, oh, I think we're not going to know the verdict until Thursday or Friday. And he told me, oh, it's because people like you. People that don't vote. It's because people that don't vote, people who don't participate in elections is the reason why it'll go that long and it'll be close. I just said, okay, peace and blessings. Nah, I think I told him, even if all of us, even if we all went in droves, we could have all million-man marched down to the polls and it still would have went how they wanted it to go. Every single American in the United States of America could have went down to the polls and voted. And my friends, if the people at top didn't want it to go that way, it wouldn't went that way regardless of what you voted for. Please understand that. 1 million of us ants could have went down to the polls and voted for Trump. And it was gonna be Trump, not because we said so, because they said so. Understand that. If you voted for Trump, you had very little say-so in that matter. There's only a certain group of people that had say-so in that matter, is all I'm saying. Questions, comments, concerns, I'm open to them all. Again, I'm not gonna debate you. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. I'm not gonna call you out your name. I don't think less than of you if you disagree with me. Shout out to you if you agree with me. Shout out to the people that agree with me, but you don't have the luxury to agree with me publicly. I know you exist. There's people out there that what I'm saying is very true, or at least it resonates with your soul, but you're not allowed to publicly agree with me. Maybe it's personal, maybe you don't like me personally, or maybe your title at your job or the role that you play within your community doesn't allow you to align with what I'm telling you, so you can't agree with me publicly. But I know somebody out there feels me. Out of 8 billion people on this planet, somebody out there feels what I'm saying. I know you do. But some of you don't have the luxury to speak how I'm speaking right now because you'll get in trouble. Well, even me right now, like, it's like, whether you agree or not, I'm not necessarily worried about any type of kickback. If it happens, it happens. So what? But in your heart, in your quiet moment, when you remove all the biases, when you just sit quietly and just think like, all right, let me take some time to consider what this fool's talking about. Even if I'm a fool to you, a court gesture to you. If you just take a few minutes to just, all right, let me just exercise some of the ideas that some of this guy's saying to me right now. Some of you know exactly what I'm saying. And you believe what I'm saying as well, too, to some degree. Whether you agree with me a little bit or a lot, you know that there is some rationale behind what I'm telling you. But some of you, you're not allowed to agree, or you're too afraid to agree. I challenge you to think outside of the box, my friends. I challenge you all to put some power into your own hands. Give yourself some dignity. Don't just be an ant just for the sake of being an ant. At least be an ant with some dignity. At least be an ant that implements his own rules into the game. You just listen to what they tell you? What? That's all you do? You just listen. You just spoon-fed. Anything they tell you, you believe it. Anything the news tells you, you believe it. Anything they give you, you just take it. You don't want to carve out your own path in this world? Couldn't be me. Do what you got to do. Stay sharp out here. Stay safe out here. Let's put our phones down for this week. Let's not get emotionally invested in some of these things. Let's just breathe a little bit, right? Breathe a little bit. Put your phone down. Spend less time on social media. All right? Gather your thoughts, gather your emotions, think logically as opposed to emotionally, and make a plan for yourself and your family moving forward is the advice I would give you. Give yourself some power. Give yourself some dignity. Give yourself a little bit of say-so as an ant in the ant farm. Ants together. I'm an ant too. All in all, folks, thank you for your time, your consideration. If you gave me just a slither of your attention, I'm grateful for it. If you're just considering anything that I've said tonight, I'm grateful for it, man. Again, whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, if you just took some time to just hear what I had to say, I'm appreciative of you. Thank you. The likes, the comments, the subscribes have all been greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the support. I will catch you guys on the next one.